As George said, it's about 45 minutes long, approximately, depending on how much I waffle, and I'll try not to too much. I've been through this a few times, so I should be fine. So some of you will know who I am. Some of you know it really well, and some of you won't. So as George mentioned, I'm part of the GB team, and I have been since 2019, and I've been competing in predominantly pool lifesaving for 13 years, but I do some of the surf stuff as well. I've won 4 Commonwealth titles, over 3 championships, 1 European and 1 world title. I've been coaching on and off since 2015, and I've recently set up my own club based in Yorkshire, but up at the Tadcaster pool up in North Yorkshire. So that's a little bit about me, just so you know who I am and some of the stuff I've done. So a couple of things before we start. As George already mentioned, that pool lifesaving is quite a technical sport. So is surf lifesaving, but the small things go quite a bit further in a shorter race. So I must mention this, that you must control what you can control in a pool lifesaving race. There's excuses for having a bad race. You just might be too tired and this and that, but having poor skills, there's no excuses for that. You should be able to clip a mannequin. You should have a good pickup. You should be able to get your fins on in super. And you should be practicing these things until you have these skills nailed down. So I've put practice till you dream about it, because I literally dream about this. I'm visualizing it all the time. I love this sport. So just mentioning that before we go. So the agenda. We've got 6 parts to this presentation, and we'll go through one at a time, and they'll lead on quite nicely from each other. So we're going to start off by doing mannequin carry techniques. So the basic techniques, the ones you should know to start with, and you should be able to teach your athletes, and then some kind of tweaks and some more advanced stuff after that. And then we're going to go through some mannequin carry pickups. Then we've got some carry pickups with fins. We've got some toe clipping with fins, and we've got some super lifesaver fin-ons or transitions, depending on where you're from, what you call it. And then we've got a little bit of a Q&A. Obviously, George is part of the GB setup. I know a little bit about stuff that's gone on in the past, so hopefully we can answer some of your questions on selection and that type of thing there. And as George mentioned earlier, feel free to take notes and jot down some questions, or put them in the chat, and we can answer those at the end. So first things first, I don't want to keep you all night. I know the darts is on, and we have a front runner for the win. So first things first, mannequin carry techniques. So there are many different ways you can carry a mannequin, and these have changed drastically over the years. I know we've got some people in here who've competed championships 20 odd years ago, and might have carried the mannequin very differently to how we carry it now. So as coaches, we need to know the different types and the ones we should be teaching our athletes to start with when they start life saving, or when they're coming through nippers. So please make sure your mic's on mute, because I can hear you. So we've got 3 main types, and I'm going to name them what I've named them on here. So we've got surface, we've got underneath, or having the mannequin underneath you, and we've got across the chest. You might call them something different, but these are the ones we're going to talk through, and that's what I've called them here today. So we're going to jump straight into this. I'm just going to show you these different techniques. So we're going to play a video. I'm going to explain, then we'll play the video again, so you can sort of understand why I'm saying what I'm saying. So our first video here of the surface technique of carrying a mannequin. So this is a technique that many of you have seen over the years. As pre-2014, you had to keep the mannequin up, so the mannequin's face had to be out of the water. And this is the technique that some people still use. So the body position here is quite flat. So you are, it's kind of a similar position to what you would be in a front crawl swim race. So the mannequin's face should be near the surface. And the mannequin's body, so the mannequin itself, should be next to your body. So it shouldn't really be touching you at all. And you should also have some tension in the arm, the arm you're grabbing the mannequin with. Because if you don't, and you have your arm loose, the mannequin can end up hitting your leg, or you can end up kicking it and that type of thing. All right. So the mannequin is at the surface and you are doing a one-arm front crawl stroke. So compared to some other techniques we're going to look at, your body is quite flat and you can't get that much extension in your pulling arm just because you are so flat. So your shoulder can't extend fully like you can in some other techniques. So that is the downside. If you're from the RLSS, we use half-filled mannequins in the 12 to 14 age group. So lots of juniors coming up through the 12 to 14 ranks into the 15 and over will probably carry like this to begin with, because when they have half-filled mannequins, they have to have the mannequin to the side of them. So this is a good transition to teach them how to carry a full mannequin. So I'm going to play the video again just so you can kind of re-look at the technique here. So as you can see, I'm not fully extending, but I am getting a good pull with my arm. So I know I don't want to keep you all night, so we could talk about this all night. But I'm just going to move on to the next technique. So the next one, I've called it underneath. For obvious reasons, I'm going to have the mannequin underneath me here. So again, I'm going to play the video, talk through it, and then play the video again. So the body position on this one is way different to the body position on the previous one on the surface. All right, so I am way more on my side on this technique. Me personally, I like to be completely on my side, like you've seen in this video, but some people are sort of in between surface and complete on their side. All right, so with this one, you want the mannequin fully or nearly fully underneath your body. So it might be slightly off to the side, but still underneath you here. This one, it makes the your body and the mannequin quite streamlined. This is the one I personally do in races, and sometimes I pin the mannequin onto my thigh. Therefore, I know where it is. It's not moving around, and I'm not going to drop the mannequin. I have quite small hands, so this one works quite well for me because I can't. The mannequin can't slip out of my hands like it might do on surface for some people. All right, so I'm going to play that one more time. So as you can see, I've got the mannequin nearly pinned, and I'm more on my side than I am on the surface technique. So the mannequin's nearly completely underneath me there. So a similar-ish technique we've got next is, I call it across the chest. All right, so again, I'm going to play the video. So this technique is quite new, new to the scene of lifesaving. The past couple of years, it's really sort of come out the woodwork, and people have really started doing it. So the body position here is a little bit different to both. Some people like to be really flat when they do this technique and have the mannequin really underneath them, and the mannequin's head nearly up on your chin instead of being on your chest. But here, I've got it nearly pinned into my chest, hence the across the chest. All right. So the mannequin should be underneath your body and be kept as streamlined as possible. So you don't want the mannequin jutting out at all, because that's gonna slow you down. So you want the mannequin's body in line with your body, so really straight. And when you're carrying the mannequin here, your elbow of the carrying hand should be near the back, near the mannequin's back, so kind of on its shoulder. And your other arm, so your hand, should be near the mannequin's armpit. And this one's really great for smaller people, usually youth athletes or some smaller females, because you can really hold the mannequin. You can have it in a firm position. You can hold it up a little bit better than you can on the surface technique or the underneath technique. So if we watch again, you can see it's completely in line with my body. All right. And my arm's completely across its back and then under its armpit on the other side. Again, there can be variations of all three of these techniques to how your athlete sort of what your athletes wants and your athletes needs. Some people might find tweaking it a little bit or having the mannequin a little bit higher might be easier for them. All right. So other things we can consider, like I've just mentioned, these are a little bit more advanced and they'll take much more practice to sort of get under your belt. So we can use fly kicks. So instead of doing front crawl or flutter kick, we can use fly kicks. You might be tilting the mannequin a little bit using your wrist, or you might have the mannequin upside down. So recently, some rules have changed and people started carrying the mannequins upside down. So I've got some videos of some people I know across the world who use some of these different techniques after mastering the first three I've showed you. So we've got Shun here from Japan. He's going to hold the neck and the chin of the mannequin, and he's going to do fly kick. So as we can see here, instead of doing flutter kick, he's doing one arm fly, and he's got hold of the mannequin's neck and its chin. Super hard to master that one, but really good if you can master it. So he was kind enough to send how he gets the mannequin in position and picks the mannequin up, which we're going to cover next. So as you can see, he grabs the side of the mannequin's neck and carries it that way instead of the back of the neck, which is the more conventional way to carry a mannequin. And we have got Chris Dawson here, who's been around for, I don't even know how many years, 12 years, very good lifesaver. You're going to have to watch this one quick, 'cause it's only 3 seconds long. So he tilts the mannequin and he does fly kick. And his body position is a little bit flatter than Shun's was. So I'll play that one more time for you. And then on the other side of the screen, if we look into the right-hand side, I know it's not a greatest video, we've got Jake Smith, who's the 50 carry world champ. He's doing fly kick, very similar to Chris, and he's tilting the mannequin too. So he tilts his the opposite way to Chris, but it works the same way. So we'll play that again. Brilliant. And then one more technique that some of the Italian guys are doing that I'm showing you here. So this is the mannequin's completely underneath me, and it's also upside down. Brilliant. Right. So moving on. Obviously, this is going to be recorded, so you can go back and watch some of those clips, or you can message me and I can send you them. We're going to move on to pickups now. So mannequin carry pickups. So again, this is what I have learned over the years. That I've found that there's 3 really effective pickups. All right, but they are all very, very similar. Okay, they follow the same procedures. And again, I've named them things that I know them as and that relate to this technique. So we've got behind the neck, we've got headlock, and we've got across the chest. So these kind of relate to the carry techniques, especially the across the chest one. Obviously, that's how you pick up a mannequin if you're going to carry it across the chest. The other 2, a little bit different. Okay, but all 3 of these follow exactly the same procedures. Okay, I'm calling them procedures. Steps you need to follow to pick up the mannequin effectively. All right, so they all work the same, but they have their pickup, the actual grabbing the mannequin is slightly different. Okay, so I'm going to show you a pickup, and then we're going to go through these step by step, so we know exactly what we should be telling our athletes when we are drilling these in training. So give it a play. So we want to be following the path of least resistance here. All right. So I'm playing it again. So I've grabbed, pushed off, and away we go. Right then. So first step when we are picking a mannequin up, okay, whether this is in rescue med, super, or 50 carry. All right. So we must be down Okay, diving down with enough time. You do not want to be diving down on top of the mannequin. This is a common problem, especially in domestic competitions, is people diving down on top of the mannequin. All right, really not efficient. And the following steps that I'm going to show you next all get messed up if you are diving down too late. I'd rather you dive down too early than too late, and that's what you should be telling your athletes. All right, so you should be diving down. As you can see, there's a big gap between me and the mannequin. Okay, this is what you should have. Everyone should have. Okay. The next step, okay, I don't want to see anyone breaking streamline. So lots of people start breaststroking down with doing a breaststroke pull down, all right, and kicking like a seal. That's not effective, okay? The path of least resistance we need to follow, all right? So you should only be breaking streamline when you're on top of the mannequin. Another common problem I see in athletes is some of them don't feel comfortable grabbing the mannequin, so they will start sculling on their fly kick down. Again, streamlining for as long as possible. All right. So we only break stream when we see the mannequin, and it's when we're on top of the mannequin. That's when we break streamline. Step 3. All right. So step 3 is to do with grabbing the mannequin. So step 3, okay, and step 4 are done. Whoop, zoomed in. Are done in tandem. All right. So the first thing we do when we get to the mannequin after breaking streamline is we're going to pop the mannequin up. That will make it easier to grab. All right. So as you can see on the bottom red circle here, my hand is lifting the mannequin up a little bit. Okay. And part of step 4 has already started on the back circle, on the back red circle. So we need to tuck our feet underneath us and plant both of our feet on the ground because we need to push off, okay, powerfully. Another common problem I see here, okay, is when people plant their feet, they might only plant one, or they might be planting their feet in a trap position, okay? But that means it's easy to slip off the floor, all right? Another common problem, I know I'm giving you lots of problems here, is when you dive down to the mannequin, if you are going to pull with your left arm, you need to be on the left-hand side of the mannequin. If you are going to pull with your right arm when you get to the surface, you need to be on the right-hand side. So lefty, left, righty, right. Okay, not down the middle, not either side. Left, left, right, right. All right. So after I've planted my feet, okay, we're going to do what I call the Superman. This is step 5. We're going to point our arm out in the right direction. So the direction we are facing. I don't want your arm by your side. Your arm should be out like Superman and pointing in the direction you're going to go. And this is another thing you should definitely be telling your athletes. Okay. So step 5, Superman, and step 6, we want a strong push off and we want fly kick towards the surface. All right. And then after that, we want to be putting the mannequin, securing the mannequin in the carry position. So as you can see on the left-hand side, on the left photo, I'm moving my arm from a headlock position. So if I go back, here. Okay, you can see I've kind of got it in headlock position. My arm's right around it. And next, I'm dropping the mannequin down, and then it's in the carry position in the underneath technique. All right. So step 1, diving down enough time. Step 2, we're streamlining. So no swimming like a seal with our arms by our sides. Step 3, we're grabbing and popping the mannequin. Step 4, we're tucking and planting our feet. Step 5, Superman. Step 6, strong push off and fly kick. All right. So we need to keep these in mind. If you want to screenshot that or something, they're great drilling points for your athletes. Obviously, you can watch it back because we're going to need them when we're watching these videos. So everything I've just spoke about is done in these 9 seconds. So pop, grab, push off, and fly kick. Right. So I've got a non-example here. They used to tell me off. I was a teacher. They used to tell me off for doing non-examples. They don't like them. All right. So we'll see what we shouldn't do. So we've got a pull down. We haven't planted our feet in the same place. And look, the guy's dropped his mannequin. So we'll watch that again. Everything you shouldn't do here. All right. So if your athlete's looking like this, maybe show them the video, give them the 6 drill points that they need to work on. So the previous video, so before the non-example, the video I've shown you of me, all right, I was grabbing the mannequin in a headlock. This is what you would do for the behind the neck. So you follow exactly the same 6 steps, but when you pop the mannequin, instead of grabbing in a headlock, you're just going to grab the back of the neck. Right, so I'll play that again. So you pop and then you grab the back of the neck instead. Right, next one. We've got headlock. I'm only going to play this once because you've already seen it. And our last one, which is very, very similar to headlock, okay, is the across the chest. So instead of grabbing it in a headlock, okay, you put your arm lower down and you go across the chest. So this is for if you're carrying a mannequin across the chest. Obviously, you wouldn't have to do this if you were carrying it underneath you or on the surface. And I'll play that one more time just so you can see it properly. I know this is a lot to take in. It's moving quite fast, but you can watch it back, obviously, when we get the recording up on YouTube. So the next thing we're going to cover is carrying a mannequin with fins. Okay, this is potentially, okay, the worst technical aspects of any race I see in domestic lifesaving in Great Britain. All right, this one needs lots and lots of work for lots and lots of athletes. Okay, and I've just said lots and lots, and I'm about to say it again. So there are lots of different techniques, and there has been over the years. But I have found that 2 variations of a similar pickup are the most effective and widely used in international competition. Okay, and I'm going to call one of them choke, and I'm going to call the other one headlock. Okay, and we're going to look at the headlock one first because I've got quite a few clips of this one. All right, so you need to watch closely here because this one moves quite fast because I'm doing this one at race pace. So I'm going to play that one more time and then we're going to look at a slow motion version. Right. So I know there's a lot of text on here. It's more cues for me. So we must make sure we are going down early enough when we are doing the 100 carry pickup. All right. I'm going to skip over this actually because it's too much writing. I've got a simplified version. So we must go down to the mannequin early enough here. So in a 100 carry, we have 50 swim with fins on the way down, and then we have 50 carry on the way back. All right. Lots and lots of people in the UK come up quite early on this race. So you'll see the last heat across sort of all the major competitions in Great Britain. Lots of people go all the way underwater. All right. If you can do that, brilliant. The first step doesn't really affect your athlete. But if your athletes are coming up, okay, some of them are not going down in enough time. So you're going down on top of the mannequin, similar to what I said about the mannequin carry without fins pickup, coming down right on top of the mannequin. This will mess up all the following procedures if you don't get your athlete to go down in enough time. So what you should be teaching your athletes in training, okay, is to be going as far as they can underwater. So, for example, 30 meters, coming up for a breath and not swimming front crawl. You don't want them swimming front crawl. It's not effective, okay? The path of least resistance we must follow. So they should be coming up for a breath, maybe doing 1 or 2 strokes and going straight back down because you want to get them to the bottom of the pool as quickly as they can. That's where it's fastest. So I would say at least 15 meters out from the mannequin. So you should be going down to the mannequin in enough time. The second thing is you should be streamlining until you see the mannequin. So if you've come up, you've gone back down at 15 meters, you should be straight back into streamline until you see the mannequin. Okay. The third step, which will make more sense in a second, we're going to pull with our pulling arm when we get to the mannequin. We're going to then tuck our legs to get them round onto the wall. We're going to plant our feet and then we're going to grab the mannequin. And then the last step, obviously, we're going to push off as hard as we can to give us a nice push and hopefully an advantage on some of our competition. So big credit to Tom Treblecock here. I've used a video of him in slow-mo. So we're going to follow these steps. So Tom goes all the way underwater. So the first step, he's already down in enough time and he's in streamline here. So I'm going to talk through it. So he's streamlining, he's seen the mannequin. He's pulled round to help his legs tuck. So he's spinning. He's used his arm to help him with the momentum. He's tucked his legs. He's planting his feet. He's grabbed the mannequin and he's on his way. Great pick up there from Tom. So we're going to watch that again. So he's streamlining. He's seeing the mannequin probably about now. He's pulling to help him get momentum on the way around to tuck his legs. So he's tucked, he's planting his feet on the wall, and he's pushing off. This is textbook, great technique here on this one. All right. So we've got planting with enough time. Okay, streamline until you see the mannequin, pull with your arm, tuck, plant, grab the mannequin, and we set off again. So we'll watch that one more time. Brilliant technique there. Okay, so step by step, I've done some freeze frames here. So obviously, number one, we're down in enough time. Number two, we're streamlining until we see the mannequin. Okay, so he's starting his pull phase on the right-hand side. So step three on the left, he's started to pull round with his arm. So the pull here might not necessarily be a front crawl pull, but it's a little bit like that. So it's coming across your body to really help you turn your body around, because this is the problem most people face. So if you see on the right hand side for step four, lots of people get stuck in this position when they start learning this, because they don't know how to turn around properly. It needs lots and lots of practice to nail this one. Okay, and as you can see, his pulling arm here on the right hand side is all the way down by his side, because he's pulled all the way through to help him spin all the way around. Okay, but watch what his arm does straight after this. So on step five, his legs are all the way around now, and he's grabbed onto the mannequin, and his arm is on its way back up. Okay, because it needs to face forward just like it needs to on a carry without fins pickup. So it needs to Superman. So you can see on the right hand side, his arm is back up and he's just about to push off, because he needs the arm to lead him to the surface so he can start pulling again. So some people have both arms by the side and they've grabbed hold of the mannequin. You want to get your athletes to get their arm back up just like Superman again. All right. Right. So back onto the different technical aspects. So again, there's two different methods. There's the headlock and there's the choke. All right. So Tom was doing the headlock, but the choke is the same. Okay, but I'm going to show you that in a sec. So we'll watch me again, and then we'll watch a clip from the Italian team. So as you can see, I'm streamlined, I've broke, and I'm setting back off. Okay. Right. Next one, we've got a team from Italy here, who have quite a few good junior athletes who won medals at Junior Europeans, and we've got two girls here doing the headlock technique. So some more great technique here. I'm going to play that again. and they're away. Right. So we've gone through headlock. So you're literally grabbing it in a headlock. We're now going to go through the choke method. Okay, it works exactly the same, but instead of headlocking it, you're going to grab just under its chin, kind of like what you would do if you were choking someone. So credit to Harrison Hines here. He's one of the fastest guys in the world at this race, and he has impeccable technique on this. So I'll play this through. So he grabs on to the throat of the mannequin, and he's on his way. So I'll play that again. It's his impeccable technique. Perfect technique there. We've got 2 more variations. So Zoe Crawford does a bit of a mix between the two, between the choke and the headlock. So she kind of chokes it to start with, and then headlocks it a little bit as she sets off. So her arm comes round. She kind of grabs the side of it, and then she headlocks it a little bit on the way up. So we'll watch that again. Another great pickup. And then we've just got another view of Harrison's Australian record that we've just seen. So he's on the right-hand side. Perfect. And Jake Smith wasn't bad on the left-hand side either. So we'll watch that one more time. Perfect. Right, next bit. And I know we're moving fast, so you can hopefully watch this back. So the next thing we're going to look at is the clip. Another thing that people tend to mess up on quite a lot, okay? But it's easy to rectify. So we're going to watch me. This is in sunny Singapore a couple of months ago. So I'm training with a team over there. So let's have a look. So we'll watch that one more time. Think about the different parts of this that are gonna come together as our procedures here. So touching, grabbing the mannequin, and the tube, and so on. Right. So I'm gonna skip through these because we're gonna talk through them individually. Okay. So step 1. When we're doing toe, this is for everyone. There's not different techniques for this. This is pretty much one technique for clipping a mannequin. All right. So step 1, we touch the wall. Okay. You must touch the wall before you can grab the mannequin. Most of you should or will know that. So we're touching the wall, and we're going to have our back arm extended. So you can see on the left-hand side, on the left ringed, the red ring, right? You can see my arm is already pointing backwards. Okay, that is because I'm going to have to grab that tube, okay, after I've grabbed the mannequin. So step 2, I'm going to grab the mannequin's chin, all right? I see this all the time, people grabbing the stump of the mannequin, a different part of the mannequin other than the chin. You must grab the chin. If you grab the stump, you can drop the mannequin quite easily, all right? You don't want to do that. You want to grab the chin, okay? It'll help you a lot in the future. You can get the mannequin way closer to you if you grab the chin, and so on. So I've grabbed the mannequin's chin, and now I'm moving backwards because I'm about to grab the tube. Another common mistake people make, or athletes make, is pulling the line. You don't need to pull the tube towards you. Okay, you are moving back. You have 10 meters before you need to clip the mannequin. If you pull the line, the tube can go all over the place, and then you might not have the tube anywhere near you, which is not what you want. Okay. The next thing you need to do is grab the middle of the tube. Another common mistake people make, okay, is grabbing the ends of the tube. If you grab the end of the tube, okay, you're not in control of the tube. Okay, you need to get to close to the middle as you possibly can. All right. So this is where it gets a little bit more complicated, and this is where people tend to mess up a little bit more than the earlier stages. So what you want to do is put the tube on the mannequin's chest, okay, in the middle. And whilst you are doing that and keeping it in place, you want to grab the clip with the other hand. So as you can see on the left-hand circle, okay, my hand is about to grab the clip on the far side. Okay, and my other hand is still securing the mannequin on the chest. Okay, because I need it to stay there until I'm about to clip. And step 6, once I've grabbed the clip end, I want to grab the ring end, the other end. Okay, and then we're going to push these together. Right. So remember, you can keep moving back, keep a little flutter kick going because you've got 10 meters to secure the mannequin in the tube. Okay, it's changed a couple of years ago from 5 meters. You've got loads of time. You can keep going and keep trying to clip it. And another common mistake I see is looking underwater, going underneath and trying to clip the mannequin. You don't want to do that. You don't need to do it. Okay, if your athletes are struggling to clip the mannequin, first get them to do it on the side, and then you can get them to do it in the water. So keep the tube behind you. You can grab the tube, okay, as they're moving back. So they've not got a mannequin, they just need a tube. Bringing it round in front of them, okay, and then clipping the mannequin, clipping the tube, okay, and keep doing that over and over again until they get the feel of the tube. Because some of these tubes now are really, especially like the wetties ones that they use internationally, are really stiff, and they need to get used to clipping it. All right. So a little bit of a how do I say it? Tip, okay, is your hand placement on your clip. So your clip hand, the one with the actual thing that you need to clip, okay, should be pronated. And your ring hand should be supinated. They should be opposite, okay? They should be opposite because then you can force the clip onto the ring. If your hands are both the same way around, okay, so if you're using both palms, all right, you have to force one round into the other. If you have one pronated, one supinated, you can push it on much easier. So as you can see here in the next slide, my arm that has the watch on can push, okay, the clip into the ring. It makes it much easier for the ring to go on, okay? It can save you loads and loads of time, okay, and missing. Because if you're pushing it straight on, it's not gonna come off. All right. So if we watch again, remember those steps. Okay, so touch, moving back, grabbing the tube, okay, pulling the mannequin towards you, putting the tube on the mannequin and grabbing the clip, then the ring, and then securing it together. And away I go. So we'll play that one more time. So think about the steps and what you would tell your athletes if they were learning this technique from fresh. And away I go. Right. Next section. Okay. I know we're moving on fast. If you've got any questions, remember, either put them in the chat or write them on a notepad and I can answer them at the end. Okay. Because I know some of you will have questions. Right. Super Lifesaver fin on. So I've forgotten to put a picture on here, but if you are looking at my fins and my tube, okay, they are next to each other and you want to be able to put your arm through. So if you see where the sash is, the orange sash, okay, there should be a gap between the fins and the sash. So you can put your arm through that gap. Okay, but I'll let you watch first and I'll explain after. So we'll watch first. So we'll watch that one more time. And then we're going to watch it from a different angle because this tells a bit more of the story about what I'm doing underwater because you can't really see from the surface. All right, we'll watch this once. So we're going to break this one down as well. Okay, so again, this is probably the most technical race in the pool lifesaving space. okay? Because there's lots of things to put together. You've got swim, and then you've got a 50 carry, then you have to put your fins and your tube on, then you have to do a tow, okay? So the skills on this race are the most important out of any of the races, okay? This is the kind of the blue ribboned individual event of pool lifesaving, okay? So first step, when we have got the mannequin, so we've done our first 100 and we've touched the wall. So the first thing you should do, okay, is drop the mannequin. You don't want it anywhere near you. You don't need it in your arm anymore. The next thing you do, obviously, you've touched the wall, okay? So step 2, as you can see, the mannequin's already behind me, okay? I've put my hand on the sash. So the arm I have touched with first, okay, is going to stabilize me for now. So you need to, because obviously you need to get up to the wall because you need to grab your fins and the sash. So the first thing I've done is I've grabbed the sash, okay, with the hand I was carrying the mannequin with, not to forget. The next thing I've done, okay, is you want to grab the fins with the hand you were pulling with, okay. So as you can see, I was pulling with that one. And with the hand that already had the sash on, okay, you want to pull that up your arm, over your shoulder and over your head, okay? And you are going to pull your fins in at the same time. So you are moving backwards now. You might push off the wall a little bit with your feet to get you a bit more distance. And same as the toe, you want to be moving back a little bit as you put these on, because you want to save. You want to be reducing the amount of time you are swimming as much as possible, if you can. So step 5, the sash is over your head and your shoulder. It's in a good position. You, instead of having your fins in one hand now, you're going to have one in each hand, okay? And because when you grab the fins, your hands will be over the top, what you're going to do is you're going to move your hands and grab the heel of the fins, okay? This point is really important, and this is where loads of people go wrong. People are thinking they are putting their fins on their feet, like you would put a shoe on. So you put your shoes on your feet. When you are putting fins on, you are pushing your feet into the fins, okay? You're not putting them on, you are pushing your feet into them. So once you have the heel, okay, you push your feet into the fins, and that's how you secure them really fast. So let me see. So as you can see, I've grabbed the back in this little photo here, right? And I'm pushing my feet into the fins as best I can. And that's how you get your fins on really fast. So once you've done that, you pull your fins on, ideally at the same time. Most of the guys who are the top guys in the world are putting the fins on at the same time. It saves you a couple of seconds maybe, and makes you much faster. Okay, and once you've done that, your fins are on. You need to explosively roll into your front and set off. All right, very technical this, I know. So you probably want to look back at this, look back at some of the shots I've screenshotted, and have a look with some of your athletes. So I've recorded this little video here. This is me putting my fins on really slow and hoping you can see. Okay. So I'm just putting my fins on. I'm not putting the sash on, just so you can see what I'm doing with my hands. So on top, underneath, and my fins are on. So we'll play that back again. We'll come here. So my hands were on top. So I've grabbed them with one hand. I've pulled them in. I've grabbed the other one. I've rolled my other hand round so it's underneath, and then I'm pushing and pulling at the same time to get my feet into my fins, and we're off. Okay, so one hand, both feet in, and we're off. Right, we'll watch me from the top one more time, and we'll go over some other athletes, and then we'll move on. Sash on, push your feet in, and you're off. So we'll watch from underneath one more time. And away we go. So this is me doing it a little bit faster at a training camp last year. And then we've got Callum Brennan from Team Australia, a great example here. He has the tube on the other side. I wouldn't recommend that, but it must work for him. So let's just see how he gets this on. Super, super fast. Great technique there. So watch that one more time. Great technique there. So that is the end of the presentation. If you're interested in any sort of in-person seminars, you can drop me an email. You can find me on Instagram if you want to see what I'm up to. And there's a great page that I help run called Lifesaving News GB that keeps you up to date with all competitions and all that type of thing. Lifesaving in Great Britain. So it's really great to see people following that. Nearly 1,000 followers. So thank you very much, guys. If you've got any questions, I think George is going to come back on. If you've got any questions, put them in the chat, or you can sort of unmute your mic, and I think George is going to look over that because I can't see any of you. So really appreciate you all coming. Hopefully you've taken something away from that. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much, guys.
Yeah, nice one, Sam. Thanks a lot for that. Absolutely brilliant. We've all learned so much in that webinar. So thanks a lot. So we will go into a bit of a question and answer. I have recorded this, so I will put it somewhere. I'm just trying to work out where. YouTube will probably be the best thing. So if I can get that onto YouTube, that'd be fantastic, and I'll let you guys all know via our social media platforms. So if you have got any questions, you don't want to speak, just stick it in the chat, and we'll go from the first one though that sort of I received via the chat, Sam, and that was Lee Anderson. So Lee Anderson has just asked about how do you do the relay changeover when carrying the mannequin across the chest. So I think that one across the chest for the younger guys especially is going to be really useful. But in changing over in the relay, how would you sort of do that? Is that something that we can answer?
It's really hard to answer without a video. So for the most part, when I've seen people do it, they drop the mannequin down. So instead of being on the chest, they're gonna. So you know the underneath technique. So when you get near the changeover, so for example at the wall, you're gonna drop the mannequin down to the underneath position, and then they're gonna come and grab it. It's really hard to explain without.
Yeah, I get what he means.
Do you get what I mean? I'll try to get a video of it when I'm next at training, and I can send you it, Lee.
Yeah, great. And like I said before, guys, we're going to hopefully do more of these. So if we can get some questions now, and then we could do another one with some of the answers, I suppose, on video, that'd be fantastic. So